this is John. We're going to continue with our hiking series. We're here in the parking lot of Lock 34, Goodhearts Lock, and we're going to walk upstream. So we're going to walk past the gates. We can see Lock 34 to our left. There's a little stream to our right. If you look down, there's the overflow, then the main channel of the lock. We can see out in the river. I'm gonna walk up here and get a better shot of it. Out in the river, even though it's in flood stage, we see a lot of white caps and rapids and things. All right, so we're gonna continue our walk up the canal. We plan on walking up to mile marker 63 today. We can see the rapids out there with white caps on them. Kind of noisy, don't know if you can hear it or not. We're coming up to a bridge. This is where the canal was breached. They built a bridge across the opening to keep the towpath going. Looking at the bridge, we see it's all poured concrete. Let's go over here and look at the uphill side. That little stream that came in where we parked comes through here, and I see water coming from the other direction. But this looks like it's all concrete too. Well, we'll continue with our hike up the canal. Here, as we look downstream, we can see the bridges at Harper's Ferry. Let's look out in the river. Like I said, it's in flood stage, so some of those little islands are underwater. And up we go. Up here on the berm side, we can see where they had to blast the rock out to make way for the canal. Got some straight cliffs there. We're right up against them. There is a little bit of water in the canal bed, in the prism. Looking down into the river, there's a rapid right close to us. We can hear the water, and right up above it, the water's really racing down the river. You can see a fast flow out there, just on the other side of this rapid. More area where they had to blast, push these cliffs back. As you can see, we're right up against them. And look it up. It's pretty steep up through there. Another spot where they had to blow out the rock. They were using black powder. Rushing water. You can see it hitting the tree there. And beyond the tree, you can see it's really rolling down. It's really coming fast. Some more of those cliffs that were blasted back, and there's some water in the canal here. Across the river, we can see the train coming by. And looking back into this flooded river, Potomac River, looking out at the white caps. Another feature, it's a mile marker. Mile 62. As we head up the canal. You can hear a train whistle in the distance. It's that train we saw on the other side. Going over to the side of the towpath, we see it's lined with stone to keep the river from eating away at the towpath. And like we keep saying, the river's up today, up to where the new Armories Dam was built to replace dam number 3. We can see some of the remains of it. Probably you can hear the water flowing over it. We'll get up and get a better view here in a second. As we get up here, we see the stonework here on the Maryland side, the canal side of the river. We're gonna get up here and see what we can see from the top of it. All this stonework. Then here's that dam going across. Can't really see it with all the trees. A little bit on the spillway. Here we'll zoom in a little bit on the dam and you can see the water coming over it. Then we look to the right and it starts a little canal in the river. It was called the Potomac Company's Long Canal. To make our way up the canal. Up in the area of the locks and the feeder inlet. You can see some of it over here. See the lock there and the remains of some stuff here. Not sure what that was. Let's walk up, maybe we'll check it out. This stonework was the inlet guard letting water into the canal from the river. And there beyond us is the lock. We'll go check that out in detail. We're gonna go up here and look at this inlet and see what we can see of the old dam. As we look over, we see some stonework there on the side lining this channel up to the lock, the river lock. Now what we're looking at here is part of dam number 3, or what's left of it. And then we'll come over here and look at the inlet. Here we're at the river lock. We can see where it had doors or gates before, where it's indented there. If we look down on this side, we see what looks like part of the old gate. Remains of it that's left. Now as we sweep upstream, looking at the lock, looking up at the crossover bridge for the canal. Looking toward the towpath, we can see they have boarded up the entrance to the inlet and filled it with dirt to keep water out now. This is what the Park Service is doing. We look at some of the old stonework and look downstream where the gates used to be. Looking across the river where we see some logs held up, that's part of where the dam was. Here's part of the stonework from the river lock. The rest has been filled in. As we turn, looking down the river lock, you can see the indentation for the gates. All right, we're gonna make our way back up the canal. Right, we can see the remains of the old blockhouse. It's a pretty nice building, it looks like, at one time. Path comes around, we hit lot 36 first. We have to go downstream a little bypass to see lot 35. Originally there was a bridge across and it's not there anymore. All right, so this area had a lot going on. It's got 2 canal locks and a river lock and an old gatekeeper's house. All right, we're going to continue our walk. Here in the prism of the canal is really big. I guess this was a staging area above the 2 locks. Some places it's pretty narrow. Here it's really big. Oh, and look at this. We're coming up with another feature. Looks like a waste weir. Down here on the side, look at this concrete waste weir. This waste weir was to keep the level at a certain height, which was 2 feet below the towpath, and in the winter they would use these to drain the canal. Looking toward the river, we could see stone down there at the end of the concrete, so this probably was stone and refinished with concrete later on. Look out and see the channel where the water goes out to the river. Once we pass dam number 3, we don't have rapids anymore and it's all smooth sailing out here. Coming up one of those picnic areas on the left. Then up ahead we see a porta pot and a well pump. We're coming up on the Huckleberry Hill Biker Camper campsite. Have one of the water pumps. The handle's not on yet. They'll put them on April 15th. Fine. Huckleberry Hill Hiker Biker Campsite. Bald Eagle 12.8 miles and Tatum Creek 6.9. And we're heading on up the towpath. We're coming up with another feature. It's a mile marker. It's also our turnaround spot. Mile 63. Now we're going to head back downstream. But as we look out on the river, it looks pretty calm up here. Since we passed the dam, it's been calm all the way up. As the sun goes down, we don't have that glare in our face anymore. So it's making for a really nice trip downstream. We can hear the train whistle in the distance. It's really nice out here this time of year with the leaves off. You can see so much. Here we are on our return trip, coming up to Lock 36, and we're going to take the trail around, come out on the other side. The original trail went straight through, down through those trees. Lock keeper's house. On the left side there, where we see white, was where the front porch was. It had a porch the length of the building. To the right, we can see down toward Harpers Ferry. Coming up on another feature. It's the mile marker. Mile 62 on the C&O Canal. This is the bridge they put in to replace a section of the canal that was washed out. In the next video, from Dargan to mile marker 63, we found a place where it said Lost Culvert, a stream coming down and filling up the bed with water and going downstream. We said, let's see if we can see where it goes. Well, this is where it goes. It comes down to this bridge and comes back out into the river. And that's miles upstream it's coming down from. Well, we're looking west. We see the sunset. It looks red. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. And as we swing around, looking above the lock, we can see the moon coming up over the mountain. Looks like a full moon. We're back at Lock 34. This is where we parked. This was called Goodhearts Lock. And this is going to end our trip for today. Stay with us for our next video.